Okay, done. Are we back? Kattima, innode? Hari. Now we are gonna take. Wait, let me open the syllabus. Okay, so we are gonna discuss part 2 of the module 4. Part 2 of the module 4, right? So marketing mix model in sales management. So that is the area we are gonna discuss today. Right. So y'all can see the screen, right? Can see the screen. Kaurwari Marbadak respond. Can someone respond?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Super. Right. Okay. We are taking the marketing mix part. Okay. In how this marketing mix basically works on the sales management, and because this topic usually doesn't discuss under the sales management in most of the scenarios, but why in DSSM what we have taken the marketing mix as one of the main strategic tool under the sales management, because if you are the people, I mean the sales people are the team, okay, actively involving taking this marketing mix to the market, or let's say the customers and the consumers. So that is the reason sales professionals should know the meaning behind it, and whatever the approach company or whoever who is taking for the benefit of final customers using this strategy. So marketing mix, if we take the term marketing mix, it's not a new one, right? It's not a new concept, but I mean, it is being there in the industry for a longer period, but the term marketing mix appeared in mid-90s. Mid-90s කියලා කියන්නේ මේ marketing mix කියන word එකට ownership එක ගත්තොත් there are three people. There are three people own this word, right? මම origin එකේ ඉඳලම කතා කරොත් how this marketing mix word came into the picture. Initially, the term marketing mix identified as a recipe. Initially, the term marketing mix identified as the recipe. Okay. Person by the name C. James. Okay. Person by the name C. James in 1940s, right, were talking about something called business recipe. Right, 1940 ගණන් වල 30 ගණන් වල 40 ගණන් වල C. James කියන පුද්ගලයා කතා කරා business එකේ recipe එක ගැන. Okay, so what was he saying? He said, okay, if you are to get the better taste of the business, so-called profit. Business එකේ taste එක කියලා කියන්නේ profit එක. Business එක tasty කියලා කියන්නේ හොඳට profits තියෙනවා. Right? රහයි business. So if you are to get the profit taste of the business, you need to manage the business as you are managing a recipe. Right? As you are managing a recipe. දැන් අපි බලමු recipe එකක් කියන්නේ මොකක්ද කියලා. කොල්ලකින් අහලා නැහැ. Will ask from a girl. බලමු. Okay. අපි කතා නොකරන්නම ළමෙක්ගෙන් අහමු. Right. Malsha, are you there? Malsha, are you there? Malsha. Ishanika, are you there? Ishanika. Ishanika, are you there? Sajini, are you there? Sajini. මොන මගුලක ගිහිල්ලාද මන් දන්නේ ක්ලාස් එකේ ඉන්නේ නැතුව.
Go with the guy, sir.
ලොක්ඩවුන් එක්ක මේක ඔන්න එකේ තියාගෙන බුදියා තීෂ්‍යෝ දෙකටම. රන්දි ආයුධය. රන්දි ආයුධය. දැන් තරුෂිට කියලිවල දැන් මේකේ attendance අයින් කරනවා if you guys not respond. Okay? රන්දි ආයුධය. රන්දි ආයුධය. Not Ravindu, Randi. Right? Okay. 00123 Hansi, are you there?
Hello.
Yes. Who is this?
It's Hansi, sir.
Hansi. Right. Okay. At least one is there. Hansi, we were
Yes.
talking about something. What was it?
It's about I didn't remember even that. It's about marketing mix model.
Yeah, it's you can see it the screen. Right.
Yeah, sorry for the inconveniences because I with my baby. That's why.
Okay.
Mostly I just hear listening.
Okay. Right. Okay. Good say. Right now, at least I mean, like I'm really happy with the commitment. That is okay. Now, see, we were talking about a person by the name C. James said the business is like managing a recipe. If you are managing a business means it's like managing a recipe. So what do you mean by a recipe? මොකද මට කොල්ලෙක්ගෙන් ඕක අහලා වැඩක් නැහැ බොරු වැඩන්නේ. ඔබට ඒකක් අතේ දාගන්න පුළුවන් මෙතන ඉන්නේ.
Recipe එකක් කියහම ඒ කියන්නේ ingredients ඒ කියන්නේ හොඳ දෙයක් එළියට එන්නේ ඒකට ඕනි කරන ඔක්කොම ටික ඇතුලේ තියෙනවා වගේ දෙයක් නේ.
Okay, so
ඔක්කොම ingredients marketing mix model එක ගත්තොත් ඔක්කොම elements ඒ තියෙනවා වගේ.
Okay. Now recipe එකක් දැන් now you know how to make a tea නේ.
Yeah.
Right? Now නේ 아무තු විදියක. Right. Now tell me how to tell us. Right now we have 117 spoil කරගන්න එපා. මලාට class එකට එන්න බැරි වෙයි. පරිස්සමෙන් කියන්නේ okay. Now how do you make a tea? How do you make a tea?
First boil water.
Okay.
And so can you give me a minute? Baby has wake.
Okay. No, you just go ahead. It's okay, Puta. It's okay.
Yeah. Thanks.
Now, no worries.
Okay.
So, right. Now see, when you recipe is something what you use to make something in a better way. You have ingredients. Okay, you put whatever the ingredients and you mix all these ingredients in a proper weightage, right? So you mix in this these ingredients in a proper quantity, weightage, and with proper timing if you are to get the better taste out of the things what you make. දැන් කේක් එකක් හදනකොට කර කරත් කන්න බෑ, හරි ටයිමින් එකට කලින් ගත්තත් කන්න බෑ. Right? It's like half baked cake, no? So it doesn't taste well. So this C. James said, if you are managing a business, so your taste is the profitability. So if you are to get the profit taste, you got to manage all these tools or the elements or the business related ingredients effectively to get better profitability and the return. But C. James were not in a position to explain the ingredients of the business. C. James were not in a position to explain the ingredients in the business. He just said, okay, if you are managing a business, you need to manage it as a recipe. Then only you will get the profit taste. If not, you will not get. But he didn't mention whatever the business ingredients. He just said the recipe. He just came up with the recipe concept. Then a person by the name Neil Borden, in his American Marketing Association presidential address, okay, Neil Borden at the very first time gave a name for this recipe called marketing mix, right? Recipe as marketing mix. So he gave a name, right? Neil Borden in his American Marketing Association presidential address, right? He said he appointed as a president in 1950 or 49 or 50. So he said, yes, you got to manage your business as you are managing a recipe. So this recipe we can label as a marketing mix. So he gave a name for the business recipe. But he also didn't come up with the ingredients that are to be there in this business recipe. එයා කිව්වෙත් නෑ මේ business recipe එකට එයා නමක් දුන්නා විතරයි. එයා කිව්වා marketing mix කියලා කියමු මේ recipe එක. ඒතර මේ marketing mix එක තමයි manage කරන්න ඕනේ. මේ marketing mix කියන එක තමයි business එකේ recipe එක. He also failed to give ingredient. මේ recipe එකක් කියලා කිව්වම recipe එක ඇතුලේ ingredients තියෙන්න ඕනේ. So he also failed to give the ingredients. So it was taken about 15 years, closer to 15 years, until person by the name Jerome McCarthy comes up with the marketing mix ingredients. So Jerome McCarthy at the very first time in mid 60s, Jerome McCarthy the very first time released the key ingredients that are to be there in this marketing mix, right? එතන මේ marketing mix එකේ තියෙන මූලිකම ingredients ටික මුලින්ම ලෝකෙට දුන්නේ Jerome McCarthy කියන එක්කෙනා. Okay, so he said immaterial to the nature of the business you are in. You can be in a product selling or a service selling or a combination of whatever. You need to have something to sell. Something to sell. මුකුත් විකුණන්න නැත්නම් එතන business එකක් වෙන්නේ නැහැනේ. So you need to have something to sell. That something can be either product or a service or an idea or a concept or combination of whatever the things. So, but you need to have something to sell. So he said, okay, in this marketing mix, the first ingredient you got to have is something what you can sell. Something what you can sell. And secondly, he said, okay, that something should be communicated. Should be communicated. අපි ගාව මොනවද තිබ්බත් වැඩක් නැහැ කවුරුවත් දන්නේ නැත්නම් අපි ගාව ඒක තියෙනවයි කියලා. So he said, okay, you need to have something to sell, but that something should be communicated to the people whom you are targeting. Let's say in marketing language, it should be communicated properly to the target market. So the second ingredient, first ingredients, something, either tangible or intangible, something should be there. Second ingredient, some kind of a communication should be there between you and the customer to tell about this something what you have, this product or service what you have. Two ingredients complied. Then he said, company need to survive. You can't do nikam business every day, no? Right? Company need to survive. So that something should have a price to bring revenue to the organization. That something should have a price to bring revenue to the organization. Otherwise, company won't be able to survive. So he said the third ingredient is the income generation ingredient. Okay, monetary value for the product or service. First ingredients, something to sell. Second ingredients, right, what you do to communicate about that something what you have. Third ingredient, because you need the survival, so that something should have a monetary value to bring revenue to the business. And he finally said, okay, you have all these three, but there should be a way for people to come and access your product. There should be a way for people to come and access your product, which means your product should have a proper location to sell. Your product should have a proper location to sell. So that location should be a convenient location for the customer whom you're talking about. So he came up with the 4 ingredients. He came up with 4 ingredients. The first one, something. And that something he labeled as the product. He can service එකක් වුණත් he labeled as the product. And that product needed to be communicated. And that communication he labeled as promotion. Promotion means all about communication. Communication between you and your customer. You and your customer. Promotion. And that product, when you promote, you need to bring money into it. So you need to have a price for that product. So the third ingredient is that the price should be there. So the place where, the location where you sell your product, he labeled as the place. So based on these 4, he came up with the initial 4 ingredients of the marketing mix, so-called product, price, place, and the promotion. He said you need to have a product in your business, and that product should promote effectively. And by promoting that product, you should bring revenue to the organization, which means your product should have a right price. Then you need to have a proper place to sell your product. So then he said the 4 ingredients: right product, right communication, right place, and right price. So these are the 4 ingredients immaterial to the nature of the business you are in. You need to have. එහෙනම් marketing mix කියන concept එක දැම්ම ලේමන් කෙනෙක් විදියට ඇහුවොත් එම marketing පටන් ගත්ත ළමයෙක්ගෙන් ඇහුවා නම් එහෙම කවුද marketing mix කියලා introduce කරේ ගොඩක් ඒගොල්ලෝ අර අහිංසක ෆිලිප් කොට්ලව මරලා දානවා ඇවිල්ලිවල. ෆිලිප් කොට්ල තමයි යෝක කරේ අරකයි මේකයි කියලා. No. So there are 3 people responsible. Guys, පොඩක් history එකක් දැනගන්න මේ දේවල්. හැබැයි marketing mix ඔය විදියට නමකින් ආවට that doesn't mean the marketing mix was there, started in 1950s or 1940s. No, it has been there. But as a business concept or a business model, it appeared in your textbooks and all these things, right? In that particular period, in that name. So now we are coming with I mean, it was evolving, right? Marketing mix එකත් evolve වෙන්න පටන් ගත්තා. Marketing mix එකත් evolve වෙන්න පටන් ගත්තා. මම නිකන් summary එක overall කියාගෙන. එතකොට now in late 90s when we look at, okay, or early 90s when we look at marketing mix, this 4 piece, I can remember it went even up to 16 P's. අපි දැන් අර marketing mix හතරම අකුරු හතරම P අකුරු වලින් පටන් ගන්න හින්දා product, price, place, promotion කියලා ඒත් අර ලස්සන්ට 4 P's කියලා ලියනවා. අපි P අකුරු හතරකින් යන්නේ. එතකොට මේක මේ initial 4 P's extend වුණා එක කාලයක් මට මතකයි පරණ 1990 ගණන් වල 90 මුල් release වෙච්ච textbooks වල 16 P's එනකන් ඕක ගියා. Right? මට මතකයි ලංකාවේ I can't remember the exact name of that professor. He also came up with certain words taking the letter P in front. I think Oma Gihila, it went up to 16 P's. But finally, later, by looking all these things, finally, it went again down to, came again down to the 7 P's. Okay, P's hataking nataruna. Namudamang මූලිකවම කිව්වේ හතරයි. ඒ හතර තමයි ජෙරොම් මැකාති රිලීස් කරේ 60 ගණන් වල මැද ජෙරොම් මැකාති රිලීස් කරේ ඔන්න ඔය ටික. එතකොට අපි ගත්තොත් එහෙම මේකේ what do you call the 7 piece ආවේයි කියන එක I will tell you all later. So මෙන්න මේ marketing mix එක අපි manage කරොත් ඔයගොල්ලෝ product එකක් විකුණනවා වෙන්න පුළුවන්, එහෙම නැත්නම් service එකක් විකුණනවා වෙන්න පුළුවන්, NGO එකක් වෙන්න පුළුවන්. NGO is also they are selling this marketing mix. So whatever the business you are in, you need to have these four elements. ඕක තමයි මේක strategic tool එකක්. මේක නිකං දෙයක් නෙමෙයි. හොඳට මතක තියාගන්න මේක strategic part එකට එන එකක්. business එකේ strategic component එකක් තමයි marketing mix management එක කියලා කියන්නේ. Managing your marketing mix in the sense the strategic component. That is the reason the salesperson should know this. That is the reason the sales management should know this. The gravity of this. So if they know how they should design the product and what are the strategies that we can use in building the product, or coming up with new products or whatever you name it. So you being a sales professional knows what to do and how to do inside the market. And you being a sales professional, if you know how to manage your price component and how much to sell as an example to break even, what is my average costing mechanism, right? What is the fixed cost I have in my business? Now, what are the variable cost components I have in my business? So all these things are important for you to take decisions. Otherwise, what will happen? You will just do someone else wanted you to do. But that is perfectly okay. You are doing someone else wanted you to do, but doing it with an idea, having an idea is the best thing. So marketing mix එකේ history එක ගත්තොත් ඒ විදිය. Now I told you all these 4 P's, which means the initial 4 ingredients went up to 7 P's, 7 elements. Now, which means by adding 3 more elements. Now, what is the reason for that? What is the reason for that? Now, when you look at the reason for it, okay, by looking at the initial 4 ingredients, so-called product, price, place, and the promotion, you can manage the business. But when it comes for an intangible operation, service-oriented operation, you can't manage by having only these 4. You can't manage by having only these 4. So you got to have some more elements to make it more effective in a service-oriented nature. So because of that, 3 more elements added, and that we identified as people component, which means the human capital within the organization, especially the frontliners, and the physical evidence, the physically available clues and physically available evidence for customer to give their confirmation. I'll come into the explanation further, don't worry. And the other one, the process convenience, the comfortability in the process, the business process. To make the service-oriented business more comfortable. So the 3 more pieces were added. I will explain you further, don't worry. So you can see this slide here, the 4th slide, the ingredients what we identified in marketing mix: product, price, place, promotion, people, process, physical evidence. Now you have an idea about the product, price, place, and the promotion. Let me come to the people, process, physical evidence, the 3 components, and how these 3 components added to the added to the marketing mix model. So when you look at this, okay, the initial 4 ingredients, the definitions I have given here, okay, anything, any tangible, any intangible, which can satisfy the customer's expectation need. It can be an idea, it can be a product, it can be a service, it can be combination of product or service, it can be a person, it can be even a currency. So like that, you have many product varieties. in the marketing. Events, locations, countries are sold as products. So like that. So price, we were talking about cost to the customer, but revenue generation tool for company. And promotion, if we take the communication between the company and the final customer, maybe the digital or the conventional communication mechanism. And the place is the location for customer to come and buy the product. Now, in modern context, the promotion comes here, the digital as well as the conventional digital communication. In the sense you are talking about mainly the virtual type communication, and also not only that, අපිට digital communication කියලා කිව්වම my dear friends, you think only about මේ Facebook එකේ advertisement දාන එක, LinkedIn එකේ advertisements දාන එක, ඔය Instagram වල advertisements දාන එක, ඕවා හරහා social media හරහා communicate කරන එක, blogs දාන එක, own websites use කරන එක. No, ඒවා විතරක් නෙමෙයි. In global context, right? Even the online procurement and all these things, now digital display boards, interactive dining tables, then ඔගොල්ලෝ සමහර restaurant operations ගත්තාම පිටරටවල ඔගොල්ලෝ ගිහිල්ලා මේසෙට වාඩි වුණාට පස්සේ මේ කවුරුත් waitersලා නැහැ. interactive dining board එකක් තමයි තියෙන්නේ, මේ dining table එකක් තමයි තියෙන්නේ. ඔයාම ඒ screen එකේ ගිහිල්ලා ඔයාට ඕන කරන product එක select කරගත්තට පස්සේ kitchen එකට order එක යනවා, delivery කරන එක්කෙනා තමයි delivery කියලා කියන table එකට serve කරන එක්කෙනා ඔයාලට table එක serve කරලා දෙනවා. So interactive, those are digital ordering patterns, even in not in local context restaurants, but in overseas restaurants you get there. So like that, all these things, even the digital hoardings, if we take, then ඔයගොල්ලෝ දැකලා ඇති සමහර වෙලාවට stream digital large screen LED screens තියෙනවා. large size LED screens තියෙනවා. ඒවා ඔක්කොම centralized තමයි control කරන්නේ. Same advertisements you run like a TV, you run, right, using different technology. So ඔන්න ඕවත් අයිති වෙන digital communications world. එතකොට yes,
top line bottom line turnover කියන්නේ මොකක්ද?
Yeah, I'll come into it. Okay, make it, sorry. Top line කියලා කියන්නේ revenue එක, right? Bottom line කියලා කියන්නේ turnover කියන්නේ revenue එක. Okay, top line අපි ගත්තොත් එහෙම financial report එකේ top line කියලා කියන්නේ උඩම තියෙන එකනේ. උඩම තියෙන line එක. අපි ගත්තොත් P&L එක ගන්න උදාහරණයක් විදිහට profit and loss account එක. Profit and loss account එකේ උඩම තියෙන line එක තමයි revenue line එක. එතකොට ඒක තමයි turnover කියලා කියන්නේ, sales turnover කියලා කියන්නේ. ඒකට තමයි අපි top line එක කියලා තියෙන්නේ. එතකොට profit and loss එකේ පල්ලෙහාම තියෙන එක තමයි either පල්ලෙහාම තියෙන line එක තමයි bottom line එක. ඒක තමයි අපේ either profit or loss. ඒක තමයි top line bottom line කියලා කියන්නේ. මේක ගොඩක් වෙලාවට industry term එකක්. turnover කියලා කියන්නේ revenue turnover එක. එතකොට අපි ගත්තොත් එහෙම top line කියලා කියන්නේ revenue turnover එක. ඒ කියන්නේ revenue එක. එහෙම නැත්නම් business එකේ turnover එක. bottom line එක කියලා කියන්නේ profit එක. Right? Thank you for asking. I didn't see it. එතකොට ඒක ඇයි ඒක top line bottom line කියන නම වැටුනේ? Because when you look at the financial statements, final accounts වල උඩින්ම තියෙන revenue, යටින්ම තියෙන්නේ profit කියන එක උඩ තමයි top line bottom line කියලා වැටලා තියෙන්නේ. So
Sir,
price
profit වලදී ඔය before tax profit එකද නැත්නම් after tax profit එකද? ඔය bottom line එක.
ඕක bottom line එක විදිහට display කරන්නත් පුළුවන්. EBITDA කියලා කියන්නත් පුළුවන්. ඒ කියන්නේ ගොඩක් වෙලාවට අපි ගන්න finalම profit එක, net profit එක after tax. නැත්තම් ඒක bottom line එකක් වෙන්නේ නැහැ organization එකට. organization එකේ සාමාන්‍යයෙන් අපි කතා කරන්නේ profit after tax. PAT එක තමයි අපි කතා කරන්නේ ගොඩක් වෙලාවට. අපිට ඒකනේ අපිට ඉතුරු වෙන්නේ. මොකද මේ අනිත් කට්ටියට වාහන ගන්නනේ අනිත් ඒවා ටික තියෙන ටැක්ස් ඒවා මේවා තියෙන්නේ. So අපිට ඉතුරු වෙන්නේ අන්තිමට බිස්නස් එක කල්ලිවලා PAT එක ඔක්කොම ටැක්ස් ඔක්කොම ගෙවුවට පස්සේ එන එක. පැහැදිලිද? So profit after tax තමයි අපි කතා කරන්නේ bottom line විදියට. එක කට්ටිය එක විදිහට කතා කරනවා. generally කතා කරන්නේ profit after tax. So 7P's අපි 4P's ගත්තොත් උදාහරණයක් විදිහට අපි හිතමු අපි product manufacturing එකක ඉන්නවා. අපි product pan pencil manufacture කරනවායි කියලා හිතමු උදාහරණයක් විදිහට. very layman, very basic pan pencil manufacture කරනවා. stationery product manufacture කරනවායි කියලා කියමු. එතකොට and today we do use whatever a pen okay දැන් මේ අපි මේ හිතමු Atlas චූටි gel එක අපි පාවිච්චි කරනවා හරිද දැන් මම දන්නවද මේක කවුද හැදුවේ කියලා මම දන්නවා Atlas එකෙන් හැදුවේ කියලා I don't know the guy who was making this, whether this guy is a dark guy or a tan guy or a fair guy or a tall